member of the LGBTQIAA++ community who tells his followers, don't worry if your family voted for Donald Trump. Forget about them. I'm your mummy now.
If you're queer and your family voted for Trump like mine did, hi, hello, I'm your mother now. Just checking in. Have you drank water today? Did you eat? Did you take your meds?
Just walking down the street to go get my medication because I'm out and I need it for today. And I saw a woman walking her 2 kids, and she had this look on her face. And I looked at her, we made eye contact, and we both kind of nodded. Like we were both just devastated. And you could just tell in her eyes, I can't believe this country did this again. Why did I let myself have hope?
She's just a working gal as well, struggling to make ends meet. We're all in this together, folks.
When you have one candidate who has been running for 12 years, who lies and changes things, I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here. Okay? So I'm a working person.
Emphasis on the meds. And this next white dude for Kamala, who masqueraded as an unbiased journalist, could also do with some meds. Here is CBS journalist John Dickerson with Stephen Colbert just fighting back the tears.
How would you explain that to a 14-year-old today? How would you explain this election?
I'll try not to think about my boys, because
Yes.
I can only imagine how embarrassed his poor sons are right now. Here's another lefty who is desperate to be a victim. Of course, they can never articulate what rights they have apparently lost. These people are so tiresome.
Knowing that I was born with more rights than I have now is a pretty crazy feeling. Knowing that what we're about to go through means the possibility of me losing more of my rights, and that being a real threat, is insane.
There you have it. She's just like you guys. She's just struggling with mortgage payments and gas prices, except she's earning around $8 million a year. And that was back in 2022. It could be even more now. That's $666,666 every single month. According to that report, Joy Behar earns $7 million a year and Sunny Hostin is on $1.6 million. Maybe that's why she's the angriest of the lot. Imagine Joy Behar out earning you by that much for doing the same work. Guys, you know what? All of that's fairly depressing. I think I feel a dance break coming on. We're of the left. Joe Rogan was a big Bernie Sanders fan. They both seem to have been red-pilled. And here I think Theo Von really nails what helped clinch the nomination and the presidency for Trump.
You want to hear something crazy? Trump, at the day of the election, Dana White told me he'd been up for 72 hours.
Unbelievable.
I go, how's that possible? He goes, dude, he's a freak.
The guy is as resilient. No one could go through all that. When the Justice Department started to f him over, that's when a lot of people were like, you know what? The only thing we should be able to believe in this country is at least the justice system. And if they're him over,
Right.
And then he got shot at a couple of times, dude.
They try to frame Trump as a anti-Semite, as a fascist, as Hitler, and they try to convince Jews. Okay, I'm a Jew. They tried this on me. It didn't work. I'm sorry. I'm not that dumb. When they tried to scare Latinos, and they said, look, what is more racist than trying to convince people like Latinos or Jews that they have to vote a certain way because I'm viewing it that way, right? They created this manufactured, contrived controversy about Puerto Rico. Nobody bought it. They failed from beginning to end because why? Their policies are failing. They know that. They understand that. They had to come with something in order to knock Trump out and to get other people to follow them. But guess what, Rita? It simply did not work.
And on that manufactured outrage about Puerto Rico, the man who made the joke, because if you actually didn't see the rally, you would have thought Trump had said that joke about Puerto Rico and floating island of garbage. But the man who actually did make the joke, Tony Hinchcliffe, he has finally addressed it.
On my speech on free speech, I referenced Puerto Rico, which currently has a landfill problem in which all of their landfills are filled to the brim. I guess I'm the only person that knew about this. With that said, I just want to say that I love Puerto Ricans. They're very smart people, and they're smart enough to know when they're being used as political fodder. I apologize to absolutely nobody. Not to the Puerto Ricans, not to the whites, not to the blacks, not to the Palestinians, not to the Jews.
And it's refreshing approach to take, Army. If you've done nothing wrong, don't apologise.
Now, look, the massive and racist disconnect between the media and the Democratic Party was incredible. Okay? Again, to expect a group of people to vote a certain way is by definition racist. How do they not understand that? That's the bottom line on this thing. Look, and by the way, to make it worse, they're doubling down on this insanity. I mean, you're now hearing people talk about how Latino men are exemplifying toxic masculinity. Guys, this is not the approach to take when you are absolutely losing among Latinos who are part of your coalition that won the last couple of races. This is not the way you handle it. They don't get it. They don't understand it. And you know what? Great. I'm glad, because all that's going to do is lead to a more entrenched Republican majority. Let's do it. Let's go for this.
Now let's hear from Nancy Pelosi. She played a key role in the quiet coup against Joe Biden. She's claiming now that Kamala's loss was what Biden's fault, because he didn't step down sooner. And if Kamala had more time, she'd win.
Had the president gotten out sooner, there may have been other candidates in the race. Kamala, I think, still would have won, but she may have been stronger, having taken her case to the public sooner. The anticipation was that if the president were to step aside, that there would be an open primary.
Army, who is she kidding? The longer Kamala had, the worse it was. I mean, they should have left it to the last minute and given her a week or two before people could work her out and see just how vacuous she was, how completely unprincipled. I think that is just bizarre from Nancy Pelosi, because whatever you say about her, she is normally a pretty savvy political operator. And if she's blaming Joe Biden for not stepping down sooner, that seems to be the wrong call.
Oh, my God. I mean, they wanted to give Americans more time to get to know the human Potemkin village we know as Kamala Harris. Are you kidding me? More time? The only reason why she got this close, because they didn't really know her at all. That's the reason this wasn't even a bigger blowout. Look, this woman ran, let's not forget, she ran for the Democratic nomination in 2020. She had to pull out in 2019, 2 months before the first vote, because no one wanted her. Forget Americans. The Democratic Party didn't want her. But she was put in, obviously, as we know, because she was a DEI candidate. And by the way, that's not racist. That's just fact. They wanted her. She wanted her. The Americans get to know her better. Oh my God, Nancy, count your lucky stars. They knew her as poorly as they did. And it's crazy talk.
Well, who's going to be the next one for the Democrats? You look at the Republican side, and they've got a lot of impressive young talent. You can see who their potential candidates can be for the next 20 years. We talked earlier about Vivek Ramaswamy. You've got Ron DeSantis. You have, obviously, J.D. Vance. Their talent pool is significant there. And I'm looking at the Democrat side. Who do you see as the next one who they'll be looking to in 4 years to put them back in the White House?
You know, it's so interesting. This is actually the first time since 1992 that they haven't had a front runner 4 years earlier. No, that's a great. There is no one. This is a significant. First of all, before they can choose who will be a front runner, the Democrats have to decide in which direction are they going to go. They have to decide whether or not they're going to move to the center, which will lead to more wins, or they're going to double down and move to the hard left because they're not as pure. And you hear it now already. You hear there's a disconnect. So half the people are saying in the Democratic Party, we didn't move to the center enough. But half are still saying we weren't giving all our all. We weren't pure to our values. Okay? That is a recipe for loss. I have one thing to say to you, Rashida Tlaib, 2028. I'm there for you.
Yeah, let's have the whole squad running together. Ami Horowitz, thanks for your time.
I think when it's all said and done, what you're going to see is a huge divide over people who are college educated and not college educated.
Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. Pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida. And that kind of extreme, sort of extremist right-wing fascist type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place?
Thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite who are hurting tonight. There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt.